Hey, everybody. Hello, hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, because I know that a lot of you watch the replay since this is in the evening, but that's okay. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you have your favorite beverage. It is Wine Wednesday, so of course I've got some vino in my cup here, and I just need to do some little housekeeping to make sure that you can see me. I'm excited about tonight because it's a very good topic for us just coming off of a holiday week. Not a holiday weekend, we had a holiday week. Many people had, if not off the whole time, we had a lot of stuff going on, whether we were working or not. I personally had lots and lots and lots that I needed to do, and I ended up putting aside because of, just trying to relax and trying to spend time with family. And as happens with a whole bunch of us, we end up making ourselves even more stressed because we just stop doing stuff, right? So anyway, I'm going on a tangent, probably because of the holiday hangover that I have. So good evening. It looks like you are seeing me. Hey, Gina. Hi, Kat. Hey, Kat. How are you? Okay. All right. What is tonight's topic? I have to look at my notes because I'm just going to apologize right now. I almost did this sitting in a ball on the couch because I am just all over the place today. So just be super happy that we're doing this and we'll get through it. All right. Tonight, we are talking all about things that you can do to start your week off right. Okay. Because of everything that I just said, we have all the holiday stuff, we have traveling, we have company, either we're going somewhere or somebody's coming to see us. Sometimes a lot of that happens with a lot of us. We've got more food coming into the house, more meals to cook, more things to think about, more people to think about, more people to take care of, more stuff to clean, on and on and on and on. Right. And when we come off of that, it is hard to get back into the swing of things. So I know that today is Wednesday, but Monday comes again, and then it's going to come again and again. So this topic tonight, things you can do to start your week off right, is right on target for the holiday hangover time that we are going through right now. So I'm going to be giving you, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4-ish, 5, maybe if more come to my mind, I'll be giving you 5 things that you can do to start your week off right. And what this is meant to be is to give you some ideas, to spark some inspiration for you to be able to really be intentional with your time. That's what I'm very passionate about, being intentional, acting instead of reacting. And so that is what we are going to talk about now. All right. Hello, Tammy. Hey. All righty. All right, it looks like I'm frozen, but let me know if you are seeing me frozen. And if not, I will continue. Hey, Mary Fran. All right, it seems like it's working. Tip number one, routines. Well, actually, this is going to be a theme. I shall say routines are a theme. I'm going to start with the Sunday setup. Sunday setup, I have a whole training on a Sunday setup in the organizing lab. And as you know, as a lounge member, there are many, or not many. I'm telling you, my brain is not working today. Every Sunday, I do the Sunday setup post and I remind you, hey, have you looked at the week ahead? Hey, are you, helping your future self? And that's what this whole thing is about, right? Helping your future self so that you're not chasing everything and being behind the 8 ball and everything, right? So the Sunday setup, it can be anything that you want. I'm not going to go through the whole training that I do in the lab, but basically it's just creating a list of anything that you want to get done or have prepared for the week and make it a date that you do every single Sunday. And that becomes a habit and a routine and or a habit, depending on how often you do it, right? So this could be anything from going through your mail every single Sunday. It could be just doing looking at your calendar. It could be looking at your meals. It could be doing all of those things every single Sunday. Okay. And the reason why it's on Sunday is because Monday comes and that's when school starts. That's when we go back to work. For those of us that have, more Monday through Friday jobs, I know there's a lot of people that have this crossover with weekends and stuff. So if your setup, lands better on a Thursday because you have Thursday off, do it then. Whatever is going to help you look ahead in the future for the next week. Okay. So that's the whole point of the Sunday setup. So just think of a way to, or not a way, make up of a list of all the things that you want to get done or all the things you want to have prepared and try to make that a habit. So the Sunday setup's the first thing. The second thing is creating routines, and you'll see a pattern with this. So all the things that I'm going to be talking about is routine, but if you can create routines it could be for anything, right? It could be a routine for just getting lunch boxes ready every Tuesday, or, it could be anything. But if you create routines with things that happen all the time or something that you want to happen all the time, it's going to make things easier for you. Okay. So your Sunday setup could be a routine. It could be where you create a morning routine or an evening routine. So in the morning, if you've got you have got kiddos, but then you also have to get ready for work. What is that routine? What do you need to have done before they walk out the door? What do you need to have done before you sit down to work? Evening routines, start of the workday routine, end of the workday routine. Creating any of these can help you set up your week and start it the right way. Your way is the right way. Not my way, it's your way, but it's the whole point is to be intentional, right? So when I say the right way, I'm saying the intentional way. Okay, I just want to make sure yay, everybody's here. Okay. It's hard for me to see all of the comments all at one time. All right, so Sunday setup, creating routines. And like I said, routines can be for anything. If you are going to, if you want to go to bed at a specific time every single night, or if you want to work out 3 days a week, build in those things that you want to have done and create routines. That's going to help you start your week off right. And looking at those routines. So when you do your Sunday setup, you could add that in as okay, when am I going to do these things? And that will help you start setting up routines so you can get it done. Okay. Meal planning. Meal planning is huge. I personally really don't like meal planning. However, I will say that it is extremely helpful. And my husband, I love him for it. He is very helpful with helping me meal plan because I just do not like to do it. And he makes sure that we get it done, and we do it together a lot of times. So meal planning is a big deal. It can be a game changer for your week, because if you go day by day by day, not knowing what food is coming, you're going to make a trip to the grocery store 4 times a week, 3 times a week. You're going to be stressed out on your way home from work, or before you get up from your desk to walk in the kitchen, you're already thinking an hour ahead of time. Well, I don't know what I'm going to give to anybody, or I hope that I can find something in the pantry. It adds more stress. And so if you can meal plan, it doesn't have to be this, extravagant thing where, how you have all these lists and all that kind of stuff. But if you can know what you're going to make ahead of time, that will give you an idea of all the things to buy. So that reduces the amount of times you're going to the grocery store and all of the good things that meal planning does for you, right? So you want to look ahead at all of the events for the week. Do you have nights where you're not going to be home, where you're going to be driving around and you need to actually eat out? Are there going to be days, and not every day, because this could be an everyday thing, but are there going to be days where you know you're just not going to feel like cooking, or you're not going to have time to cook? You know, what are those days where you're going to need a quick meal? What are those days where you're going to need to have more food for extra people? You know, is one of your kids having a sleepover with people over? Do you need to, plan for more people? Making those choices days in advance is going to help your future self. You're going to love yourself when you know what food is coming, when you have the stuff to make it with. It is excruciating for me to do this. And so if you struggle with this, the struggle is totally real, but it really, really works to have a plan for what you are going to eat. And don't just think about today and tomorrow, because then the next few days are still going to come and you're going to need food for those days as well. And then you also want to think about, lunches. If you work from home, what do you eat for lunch? Do you have the things so that you're not just, wasting time in the kitchen trying to figure out something to eat? Okay. So even planning what you're going to have for breakfast and lunch is a big help too. Lunches for kids, that's a huge thing. You have to make sure that you have what you need to give them for their lunches. If you take care of anybody in your home, for them as well. So Sunday setup, creating any kind of routine, and meal planning. Helpful. All right. Who needs it? Hi, Trish. Hey, Audrey. Trish says, I definitely need to start meal planning. It helps. You don't have to have an extravagant thing, like I said, but as long as you have an idea of what you're going to eat and you can go to the grocery store, you can definitely minimize the amount of trips. You can maximize your time by not scrounging around for things and not having all of that stress swimming around in your brain, right? We all have so many things up in our brain. And I talk about this in the organizing lab a lot. When we have it up here, it's taking our brain power away from all of the other things that we want and need to do. And so when we don't get it out and write it down, put it on a calendar, and make a list of things that need to be done or that we are going to do, it stays here, and it stays here with all of the other new things that come. And then we get overwhelmed, right? So if you can get it out of your mind and put it where it can be to remind you or to tell you what needs to be done, that is going to, it's going to change everything, because you're going to free up some brain space to actually concentrate on other things. I promise. Okay. And meal planning will definitely be one of those things that can help. I like to suggest using your phone to do things like this, only because, and I just mentioned this in a training this morning, we have our phone with us most of the time, right? Maybe you are someone who tries to not have your phone around all the time, and that is great. But if you are using paper, then you have to pay attention to where you're putting that paper. And if that paper is, just one little piece of paper and you're using all the other little pieces of paper, you have to make sure that whatever system you're using is going to be consistent enough for you to actually save the time. Because if you're getting it out of here and you're sticking out a postie, then that postie can, get put with a whole bunch of other posties, and then that just comes a whole nother mess of, a whole other brain mess over there, right? Yay, Tammy. Yeah, Tammy, she says she loves learning about habits and routines and being more intentional in the lab. Being intentional is, it's one of the keys. I say, there's a lot of keys to being organized, but being intentional comes from, if you have consistency with these things that I'm talking about. So if you can create routines and be consistent with them, then you can be intentional. If you do the meal planning, it's going to help you be intentional, right? So yes, I love that. Yay, Kat used her planner today. Awesome. High five. I love it. Okay, so Sunday setup, routines. I'm looking at my list, making sure meal plan. Okay, so calendar review. Now, this isn't the same as Sunday setup. You can do, and I encourage you to do a calendar review on your Sunday setup. But calendar review, when I say this, I mean doing it on your Sunday setup, doing it every night, doing it every morning, okay? Because if you can, before you go to bed, look at your calendar, you're going to know, your subconscious is going to know whether you have to jump out of bed or not, right? And if you don't look at that calendar before you go to bed, you may forget an appointment. Even if you know it's on the calendar, it's there. Trust me, this happens to me, and I use my calendar diligently. I use it every day. I look at it all the time, and I still miss things. And that's because my brain is crazy sometimes, like it is tonight, and that's okay. But if you aren't checking it, you can totally miss something because you've got all of that brain clutter going on, right? Because you're thinking about other things, and you're thinking that appointment is tomorrow, but really it's the next week. Okay, you think it's on Thursday, which you're correct, but it's next Thursday, not this Thursday. And so you rearrange your time in your head, and you're doing all of these things to get ready for this appointment, and then it's next week. So you're taking away your brain power and putting it somewhere where it is not serving you best. So calendar review every night before I go to bed. Even if I'm just, I'm ready to fall asleep, I look at my calendar just to make sure, because I want to be sure that I'm setting my alarm early enough, or, that I get ready by a certain time, or if I need to drive somewhere, I know when I need to leave, right? So looking at it every night, and then when you wake up in the morning, rechecking it. So doing it your Sunday setup, doing every night, every morning. If you use paper, then be sure to look at the paper. If you use your phone, be sure to look at the phone. If you use both, be sure that they are aligned. And that is where some things can get missed and misplaced, because if you use a paper planner and a digital calendar, if you don't sync them, then something's going to get missed. And so this calendar review is going to help you sync that. So especially for those of you that use both, this calendar review is super, super important. Okay. If you have more than one member of your family that you are keeping track of on your calendar, or that that they're busy too, then coordinating with them at least once a week, if not more. And when you look at your calendar each day, you can say, okay, he has practice tomorrow night. He never has practice. This is a new thing. Oh no, I've got a client. He's picking him up. I hope that my husband can pick him up. And if you wait until the day before that, then, the husband may be in a meeting too. And then all of a sudden you're trying to figure out how to pick your child up from practice, and you don't know how you're going to do that, right? So coordinating with others that may be affected by your calendar is really important with your calendar review as well. Yes, Google Calendar that's what I use. I love using Google Calendar because you can share calendars with people. You can, color code everything. You can add people to events. You can do all kinds of stuff with the Google Calendar, and you can look at it on your phone, and you can look at it on your computer, just like Gina said. I love Google Calendar. There's lots of people that use Outlook and that use iCalendar. There's so many different ways, but just be sure that you're being consistent with what you're using, and that it works for all the different things that you're using it for. That's really important. All right. So the fifth thing is make things easier. So this is kind of an overall umbrella point that I'm giving. And so there's going to be a few of them under here. So you know that there's the routine theme going on with all of this. So even if you do your calendar review, that becomes a routine, right? Every night before you go to bed, or every evening after you finish cleaning the kitchen, or whenever it is that you are going to make sure that you know what you're doing the next day, and same in the morning. So that becomes routine, right? Meal planning, that you create a routine to meal plan. You create a routine to do your Sunday setup. Okay, these are all things that you can do to build habits and do them over and over again. So to make things easier, you can do things like food prepping. Okay, so along with your meal planning, you can take that another step further, and you can actually do some food prep. It doesn't have to be all fancy like like a nutritionist would do for you. However, the more detailed you get with your food prep, the more time you're going to save, and the easier it's going to be on you. So if you're somebody that really loves salads, and I used to pre-make my salads for the week in jars, and I think I'm going to start doing it again, because I started making some salads last week, and I was standing there getting all the ingredients, and each day I was having to do that, and it takes a lot of time to do that. When all the things are there and you can just do it all at once, it cuts your time in more than half when you do some food prep. If you have kids that you're sending off to school, prepping their lunch items before the week starts and then each day, that's going to help, because you can get all of the dry goods together, and you can put them in you can make little packages almost of all the things, where you can just pick it up and stick it in the lunchbox. You can also do that in the refrigerator, all the refrigerated stuff. You can put those things together. And that can become a routine, where you do the lunch the night before, or you can do stuff on Sunday or on Thursday, or whenever it is that you find time. But food prepping is one of the ways to make things easier on your future self. Let's see, another thing, decanting medications. Who here takes a whole lot of medications, whether it's supplements or vitamins, all those things, or whether it's medication prescriptions? Those things are hard to remember. And if you are opening 5 bottles to get out your B12 and your zinc and your whatever every single day, it takes time to do that. And you can also forget to take them. Trust me, I have experience with this every day, so I know what I'm talking about. And so if you can decant your medications, your supplements, your vitamins, all of those things ahead of time in a pill dispenser, then you're going to be able to just go grab it, take your pills, and be on with yourself, right? So this is going to help you take your vitamins if you're trying to create a new healthy habit for the new year of taking your multivitamin, or making sure you get your vitamin D, or whatever that is for you. Even if it's just 2 pills a day, 2 vitamins, or if you have prescriptions, if you take those out of the bottle and you put them in a dispenser, it's going to save you time. So that's making it easier. Okay. Filling in your no-brainer to-dos on your calendar. So when you do your calendar review, if you can just do I call it a quick sweep. In the lab, we talk about quick sweeping a lot. If you can just do a quick sweep, where you go through and you just do the no-brainer stuff. Okay, I know that I have to pick him up from practice. I know that I have to go get this gift to this person on this day. I know that I have to deliver that. And just do it real fast and get that stuff on the calendar. That will take all of this brain mess that you have, and it'll help clear it a little bit, and put it on the calendar, put it on your list, so that the other things can then come when you need them to. Okay. So it'll make things easier if you can just fill in the no-brainer stuff really quick whenever you're doing your calendar review. And that also goes for the, what do you want to call it? Middle of the night, ideas that you get, or you lay down to go to bed and you remember, oh my gosh, I have to go to Target to get a gift tomorrow, and you say that to yourself, and then you go to sleep, and guess what? You end up not going to Target and getting the gift, or you end up, getting there right before they close, or you have to rearrange a whole bunch of stuff, right? So if you can, and again, this is easier on the phone, but if you have your planner or your notebook that you use and you carry that around with you, it'll make it easier. But keep that next to you at all times. So when you go to bed, if you have your phone nearby or your pad nearby, when you are falling asleep and you remember, you can just go straight to whatever app it is you're using and jot it down. I use Trello. For those of you that know, I'm a Trello nerd. I love Trello, all things about it. And I use it every single day for so many things. I use it for my business and for my personal life. And when this happens to me at night, when I lay down to go to bed, I go, oh, and I grab my phone and I go to my Trello and I just type it in really quick, because I have a memory map that I use on there, and I just automatically type it in because I know that the next day I'm going to see that, because that's one of my routines is I look at my memory map and my to-dos every single day. Okay, that was a whole lot of information, and I hope that it is being very helpful for you. So let me just do a little recap. So we're talking about things that you can do to start your week off right. Okay, we talked about the Sunday setup. This can be anything you want or need to get done or have prepared for the week. So if you're going to food prep for the week, this could be part of your Sunday setup. If you are going to work on your action box, that can be part of your Sunday setup. If you're going to do your calendar review, anything like that, you can create a time, and it doesn't have to be on Sunday, whatever day you have the time to sit down and do it consistently each week. It could be Saturday, Thursday, Monday, Sunday, whatever day it is. Be consistent with that time so that you can plan for the next 7 days ahead. Creating routines, which is the theme of everything that we talked about tonight, right? You're creating routines, whether it's in the morning, the afternoon, when you're done working, when you're starting work, your evening routine before you go to bed. Any of that kind of stuff is going to help you. Meal planning, right? There's a couple of us that need to do some meal planning, or, just face the fact that we need to do it and it's going to help us, right? So even if it's just deciding a few things that you're going to eat, it's going to help you way more than not deciding anything. Even if you just look at the week ahead and you say, oh, you know what? I'm not going to be home and I'm not going to feel like it. And I'm not going to feel like it. That's already 3 nights that you know that you need to get something quick, right? So that's any little bit that you can to take this mental brain clutter out is going to help your future self and serve you better. And remember to look at, if you're feeding extra people and all of that kind of stuff with your meal planning, and when you can go to the grocery store. And then calendar review. This isn't just looking at your calendar for the week ahead. This is looking at it every single day, every morning, every evening, making sure that you're checking it if it's paper and or digital, and making sure that they're synced, making sure that you're talking to your family members about things so that so that kids don't get left at school or animals don't get left at, sitters or whatever it is. And then lastly is all the things making stuff easier, right? Food prepping, decanting medications, filling in your no-brainer to-dos, and making sure that you jot down all of those, oh my goodness, I need to remember things, right? I guess I need to come up with a name for that, but it's the oh my gosh, I have to remember thing. So have a place for those. And let's see, how do I word it? You can do it in your notes app. You can do it in Trello. You can do it in whatever app or location on your phone or on paper you want to. But remember to be consistent with it, right? So you want to be consistent and not have it be all over the place, not have it be in Trello and in the notes app and in a text. And, you want to be consistent. All right. Yay. I'm glad it was helpful for you, Trish. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm so happy that all of you were able to join me here this evening. I see that there's, a handful of you watching, and I love it. I love seeing all these eyeballs up here and seeing all of your names. And who prepped food this week? I can't see who did it. Somebody prepped food. I love it. It was really helpful that you prepped the food. Awesome. Okay. Yes, all helpful when you put these things into practice. That's the thing, right? If information was the way to organization, we would all be organized, right? Right? We would all be organized right this second if information was the road to success. But you actually have to do the work as well. You're right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Cheers. I hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Remember, and I do want to tell you, because today is the 1st, it is the last evening I've been running a promo that for my free clutter breakthrough session that I have. If you book a free clutter breakthrough call with me, it is a 30-minute call. If you book that and hop on the call with me, then you will get a 30-minute coaching session for 75% off. And that's only good through the end of today. So I hope that some of you can take advantage of that. Just send me a direct message and I will get you the link. And I love that y'all are throwing me some rainbows. I love it. I love it. It lights my heart up. So thank you so much. And you're very welcome for the training. And I am so glad that it was helpful. And if you're watching the replay, tell me that you're watching the replay and ask away if you have anything or contribute in the comments, because I love coming back and reading them and interacting with you. So have a good evening or day, the rest of your day, wherever you are. And I will be back next week, same time, same place, 8 p.m. Central, for another Wine Wednesday. All right. Have a good evening, everybody. Cheers.